Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a handbag review slash what's in my bag with my newest Marc Jacobs baby. You guys know I've been so into mid-price range bags, mid-price range, okay? But I do think Coach and Marc Jacobs are luxury, being that they have the history, sort of the heritage and quality up their sleeve. Coach is my favorite, but Marc Jacobs is slowly starting to creep back up in my brain and reminding me of the Marc Jacobs that I fell in love with when I was younger, like way younger, like 16, 15. I mean, this design here is giving that. I don't know what it is, but it's just reminding me of that. No shade to any of the bags that they've come out with that say like the tote bag and the sack. That's like their newer thing that they were doing. I do think he's kind of moving away from it and coming out with more bags that kind of resemble that vibe that Marc Jacobs had from back in the day. And those other bags that have the names on them and stuff like that, they're so cute on other people. I just kind of think it's had its time, and I'm a little sick of looking at it. At the same time, I like what I like, and I can appreciate things on other people and not have to buy them. And those came out sort of circa me falling in love with mid-price range bags, but I do think that this is going to be a little bit of a gateway. I think that this very much gives like it girl bag. Not that this is an it girl bag, but I foresee this like vibe being it girl bag, you know what I mean? But it's so cool. He took elements from like what people are loving in bags at the moment, but kind of made it its own. So to me, it makes it just like a timeless, beautiful suede tote. And this is called the Dakota Satchel, which I think there's either one other style in the Dakota line or two, not sure. I know there's a larger like Dakota tote, which is gorgeous, but I didn't need anything on that sort of scale, that size scale. And I just loved this design so much. So let's get into the specs of the bag and talk about the pros, the cons, share with you guys what I have in it currently. Right now, there's 3 suede colors, this chocolate brown, a beautiful purpley eggplant color, and another brownish, kind of, I want to say like whiskey, beautiful whiskey brown, which if I didn't have my quince tote, I would have been torn between those 2 suede colors because it's stunning. All the suede ones have the gold hardware with the contrasting black leather handle trim and black leather on the bottom of the bag. Right now, I think that there's only one leather color, and it's the black with silver hardware, which I was also kind of torn between that one and this one, but ultimately I just felt like this was a little bit more unique with the two-tone. I just really, really love that. I have always worn black and brown together, but if anybody was afraid of that, I feel like this is a good bag to sort of allow you, like give you that permission that it's okay to mix it. Like, look how beautiful this is. All of the bags, the suede and the leather, all have this long top handle, 2 main large compartments, a middle divider, feet, a beautiful buckle in the front, very minimal branding with it saying Marc Jacobs here and Marc Jacobs here. I don't know if I showed that good enough right there on the buckle. You could see it. And if you know that this is a very common Marc Jacobs symbol, but if you don't, like really, truly, it's not that in your face and you kind of have to like catch it. I didn't even really notice that in the beginning, to be honest with you. Inside the bag, you have, like I said, the 2 compartments. Everything's lined with this beautiful thick canvas. This back pocket here, I even have the tags sticking out. I don't know why I always leave like tags in my bags the first couple of years of getting them. It has a beautiful slip pocket. It's a nice size in the back. And then I really love in the front sort of compartment here, you have pretty much a full zipper pocket to secure, you know, your main items in there, because this is only a snap closure bag. But the zip pocket only comes like halfway down. I wish they did it all the way down, but I do appreciate that it's really long in length. You have a suede Marc Jacobs tag on the inside there. In the front, the buckle is pretty much non-usable. Like, you can put it in whatever hole you want, but it doesn't really make a difference in terms of how the belt works. So it's like not functional. That's what I meant. It is stitched here and here. I wish it wasn't, but we'll get into that with the pros and the cons. Depending on your liking, you can have it, you know, a little bit tighter with here. I have it to the second to the last tightest hole, or you can have it really loose. I saw a lot of Marc Jacobs employees and people that work for Marc Jacobs wearing the bag very loose and undone, like not even really buckled. And I think the point of the bag is to sort of just like look like a melty, slouchy suede bag. That's pretty much the features of the bag. And I also mentioned that they have the gold feet on the bottom, which I appreciate. Let's go over the cons first and end on a good note with the pros. The first con of the bag, which is not a con for me, but I do want to mention, because a lot of people did mention it with this bag on TikTok, that the bag has some weight to it and that the black leather one is slightly lighter. I don't know. I've never picked up the leather one, but the bag does have some weight to it prior to things going in it. I wouldn't say it's that heavy, but I do want to mention I like to feel where my money went. So I like bags feeling a little hefty and thick and durable. I like that feeling, but it's not that heavy. I have things in it now that might give it a little bit of weight, but it's not terrible. Empty, this probably weighs just as much as my Empire carryall, which this bag is significantly larger. So I don't know what magic they put in this bag to make it not as heavy. Maybe it's suede. I don't know. I'm not really quite sure. It's not that the buckle weighs that much. I mean, maybe it has a little bit of weight to it now that I think of it. Maybe that is where a lot of the weight is, but it's not that terrible. So definitely, if that's an issue for you, I would definitely go into store and compare maybe between the leather and the suede, or just in general order it and see if it works for you or not. Another con for me is that this is a one handle bag, even though this is also to what gives it that unique look. I wish it was a two handle bag. I just really like, for some reason, when it comes to suede bags, it having two handles, but then I would have really loved it just being all suede. So I kind of realized that it's not my end all be all suede, chocolate suede bag or brown suede bag. I have several now, and it's sort of now become like an obsession to find like the perfect one. This isn't my perfect one, but it's in its own right, like its own thing, if that makes sense. Like, it's not what I envision. I kind of envision, I've talked about this before, basically this in suede, this shape, not in the size 40. I think that would be gorgeous, but I don't need another 40, but maybe in like the size 28 or a 30 with longer handles for it to go over your shoulder with, you know, a top zip. That is like my end all be all dream suede bag. Granted, they already have a 34, but it's more of like an east-west. I want this sort of silhouette with longer shoulder straps, not the 21. Okay, don't talk about the 21 with me. If you know, you know. Just doesn't look right on that bag. Also, too, the straps don't even go over the shoulder. But anyways, so that's kind of another con. That's a personal con for me, that this isn't like my end all be all suede bag and that it's a one strap bag, but that doesn't take away from the function of it, which I'll talk about in the pros. Another con that I think a lot of us can agree is that the pocket only goes halfway down. It's so amazing that there's a zipper here and it's long, but it's only like a half. I wish I can show you better, but it like stops here versus going all the way down. It just should have been a full length pocket. Another con for others, again, not for me, is going to be that it's a snap closure and not a zipper. And I will say, with this amount of stuff, the snap does stay closed, but if you fill it up and you have it quite full, it won't like meet, if that makes sense. But the magnet does work pretty well. It's not the strongest magnet, but it works for, you know, this at least. Last but not least, I would say the only other con for me is that it is a non-functional belt. I really, really wish this wasn't sewn to the bag so that it actually was able to get wide and maybe change the shape, but that's definitely not a make it or break it for me. I still absolutely adore the design of the bag. I just think it's so stunning. Okay, let's go into the pros. The pros of this bag is obviously its unique design. I really do think that they took different elements and I would say inspiration from other bags that have kind of a similar vibe with the belt and things like that, but this is so its own thing, and I really, really appreciate that. Another pro for me is the fact that you do have the leather on the handle and the bottom. If this was full suede, I still would have purchased it though, I do want to say, because I do like something looking a little bit more beat up. I'm not treating this leather at all, the suede at all. I would definitely recommend for you to treat it if you do not like, you know, things to get a little messy and dirty. But I think the beauty of it being dark brown is that it might be a little bit harder for you to see any flaws on the dark brown versus like the whiskey color. But the leather being on the bottom and on the handle, obviously for wear and tear in the future, it's just going to look really, really good in the future. Like, it's just not going to have that much wear on the handle. Oh, and I forgot to mention one more con about the handle. It does dig a little bit if you have it really, really packed because it's round, but I just love a rounded handle, you guys. I think it's so chic. It looks really expensive and luxe. And yeah, I love the shape of it. So I will take that little bit of digging if there's a lot of stuff in here on the shoulder, which usually when this is packed with a lot of stuff, it's when I go to work, and it really is just from the car to the office and I put it down. So when I'm out and about running errands, this is how I pack it, and I'll show you guys what's in it. And this does not dig really at all. A pro for me with the function is that when you're wearing it, because this drop is so long, which is another pro, the long shoulder drop, thank you, is that when you have two sections like this, so it's the two sections in the function, that's a pro for me, is I'm able to know exactly where to grab and what to grab when I'm grabbing it. So if I'm in line, I know exactly where to grab my my wallet. I know exactly where to grab my kids' water bottle or snacks or whatever, because I section off my stuff from my kids' stuff when I am using it with my kids with me, which most of the time they're with me. But I truly do appreciate that function of it. Some people don't like the two sections in a bag. I love it. I would see how that would be annoying if you're a working girly and you just really need a big, huge hole for a lot of things, or the more space. But I just really love it. That's pretty much it. I would say there's more pros than cons. I'm probably missing a couple. Oh, another huge pro is the minimal branding, that you just don't know that this is Marc Jacobs unless you know, with the branding right there on the gold buckle. And this you can hardly see this, I mean, unless you really see it, the stamping of the Marc Jacobs in the back. I mean, gorgeous, chef's kiss. That's another pro, which is it looking like old Marc Jacobs. I'll just never get sick of this look. I think there might be a time where I might get tired of using my suede for a little bit, but I'll always like want to like bring it out, if that makes sense. Like, it's like a craving that I'll have. And this bag really is just so gorgeous. Do I still want more suede bags? Yes, but it really is its own like beautiful thing. I hope they come out with other sizes, maybe even a different silhouette where there's a top zip, more leather colors. I really do hope. For dimensions of this bag, it's 16 across, 11 inches high, 6 inches deep. The shoulder strap is 10 inches. It's such a beautiful shoulder strap. It goes over chunky sweaters. It goes over everything. It is so comfortable. So this is the bag on my shoulder. I absolutely just love this bag. I do not think about matching this bag to anything that I'm wearing. I'm going to wear it today. I'm in red stripes, do not care, but it just has so much character. I love adding bag charms. I love wearing it plain. I think this bag sort of is simple but also speaks for itself. So let's do what's in my bag. This is basically what I would have in my bag if I'm just running errands on my own. I would add wipes, a diaper, and a sippy cup if Ozzy's with me, and maybe a snack, and that will all fit in here. I'm also going to show you guys my iPad Pro and how that would fit in here, and my desk agenda. My Louis Vuitton desk agenda fits in here fabulously with all these things in here as well. So keep that in mind, but this is just a realistic kind of like what's in here now. In the front portion here, I have this cutie little leather jewelry bag holder. I don't have anything in it right now, but usually when I get overwhelmed with a lot of my costume jewelry, I want to like take it off. It'll just be random. I'll be in the grocery store and I'll be like, I need to take it off. I don't know what it is. I get like randomly claustrophobic, hence why most of my bold jewelry, heavier jewelry, like statement pieces are costume jewelry. I don't want to invest in like real jewelry that I'm like wanting to rip off in the middle of the store, But I like having things like this in case that happens. You can like put your little rings on here. I'll link it for you guys if you're interested. There's a ton of colors, and this is a good gift too, I think, or a good travel piece. Another thing in the front portion here is my hair clip, car keys, random little cards and receipts. This is a new thing for me too that I got from TikTok Shop. It's the IGK Smooth Slick Stick thing. This is fabulous for little flyaways. I also use it on my daughter. I put it on my eyebrows too. There's some hair on it, sorry, but I just used it to touch up my hair for right now, actually, for on the go later. I love it. It doesn't give you that glued down look initially. You kind of have to do that first, and then if you have flyaways throughout the day, it is fabulous. In this front zipper pocket, I have my newest Coach wallet. This is the slim card case, I believe. Love this. Favorite wallet of all time, okay? Highly recommend. I want more colors. And then also too, just my little tiny catch-all from Louis, my little Louis key pouch, key clay thing. Back pocket back here is going to be my junk bag. This is just random stuff that I have in my purse, like medicine, deodorant, something to sharpen my lip pencils, hulls, eye drops, like things like that. This little pouch I purchased from Hobby Lobby. Another thing in the back here is this little leather pouch. This is all my lippy things, all my lip glosses and lip liners. I have a little brush. My fragrance, which who was going to tell me that this was the dupe to Black Opium from Zara for $17? I discovered this pretty much on my own and I was like, wait, this smells like Black Opium. And then I went on TikTok and I was like, oh, it's everywhere. Everyone knew, but it just never went on my For You page. So love this. I need to buy the bigger bottle. I love it so much. This is all they had in the store. And then in this back pocket here, I just have like the Marc Jacobs tags, which I tend to hoard for however long, and some gum. So I'm going to put everything back in and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like with my iPad Pro. Also too, I would obviously have my phone in there, but I'm filming on my phone. Here's my iPad Pro and I'm just going to probably put this in the front just so you guys could see. I mean, this bag is so roomy. What's crazy is that yes, it's 16 inches long, but it just doesn't feel like that. It does not feel like a massively huge gargantuan bag. I just really, really love this bag. I don't think there's any, maybe there isn't any reviews on this bag on YouTube. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I haven't checked, but it is more of a newer style for them. And I'm just so excited to see what else he comes out with. There's one other bag that came out a few years ago that I could kick myself. I think it goes in and out of stock. It's the studded push lock bag. Ugh, I don't even want to share it with you guys on here because I know that you guys are going to stock it and then I might not be able to get my hands on it, but it is such a good bag. I actually ordered the longer strap that's supposed to be a strap you could purchase for that bag for my newest Coach bag. And it's just so gorgeous. I'm really, really loving Marc Jacobs. Obviously, Coach is a favorite, but it's nice to also have brands like Marc Jacobs, and even Tory Burch has really been catching my eye. It's just a newfound love and like world to me, and I just appreciate it so much. And it confirms everything that I think a lot of us like luxury designer lovers have been like feeling in terms of like quality and, you know, price points. It just doesn't really make sense. I really love the fresh designs, not gonna lie. So that is my review / what's in my bag of my Marc Jacobs Dakota Satchel. I hope you liked the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.